Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's episode of Sold! Exclamation point. This is our weekend video, so lots of good sales, some really cool stuff. So definitely one worth watching. Of course, they're all worth watching. Uh, First up is Sturgis T from 2006. This one had a defect. This one I got from a client, but it happens to me every once in a while. You're at the thrift, you're like, oh, this is a good one. You throw it in the basket, and you get back, and you're like, ah, shoot, there's a hole. So there's a little hole. And of course, when there's a real defect, I actually put defect in the title. It is one of my highest sell-through rates of anything I sell, is a listing that says defect, and of course, it is priced accordingly. Case in point, that one went for $9. So, but people buy stuff with defects. You just gotta price it right. Next up, we got another Edina High School sale. Real cool. Has the sewing script going down the sleeve. Full zip hoodie champion, $34. Edina is one of the richest schools in Minnesota. We've had real good luck selling their stuff. Next is an Adidas Wisconsin Badgers long sleeve polo. Normally I wouldn't buy something like this because it's just a breast embroidery, but the long sleeves you can tend to get a little more for and a little more in demand just because there's not as many items that have long sleeves. Badgers went for $21. We sold two Gophers. They are now 4-0. Two Gophers jerseys. Number 51 went for $43. Got the Minnesota. It's a Minnesota embroidery. This one is a Majestic, which you don't see very often. Majestic, you don't see a lot of NCAA Majestic. You do see a lot of this one, which is the Coliseum brand. They both appear to be relatively similar in quality. Maybe the Majestic is a little nicer in quality, just by a tad. I would say that their mesh is maybe a little bit better, but, you know, shades of gray. This one went for $34. I don't think there was a price difference because of brand. I think it had to do with just somebody might have bought one at full price, and then I might have gave a little discount to somebody else. All right, then we're gonna get to bobblehead. So Rebecca Brunson. What's interesting is I bought this at an auction. Actually, there was a couple jerseys and this bobblehead. I did not care about the bobblehead. I really wanted the jerseys. I got it, and then of course the bobblehead is the first thing to sell. So, yay, you know. Yeah, I was real focused in on these jerseys, and I was like, oh, there's a bobblehead there too. And when I got back, it ended up being a pretty good bobblehead. We got shoot. Where did I put that? There it is, $37 for the Brunson. Next up, we have Homer Hankies. The Minnesota Twins had clinched the division championship. 101 games is their final record. And we got Homer Hanky sales. I have a multiple variation listing. We had 191 Hanky sell for $6, and I had 3 sell, 91 and 02 and 08 sell for $12. I kind of came to the point that it's not really worth my time to sell these. However, now I have a variation listing with a lot of sales on it. So I might, I don't know, if I get more in, maybe I raise the price because my ranking's higher. I don't know. I'll make that decision later. I may or may not let y'all know about it. This, I'm not going to show it. I probably could, but I'm not. This is a 1981 Le Mans racing poster. Really cool poster. Go to, if you search 1981 Le Mans poster in the sold, really cool one if you want to look it up. That one sold for, oh, where is that one? I had this all really good, and then, I don't know, I think I got 30 for it. But there's not going to be many Le Mans posters from 81 sold, or any other than mine, so it'll be easy to find. Next up, let's leave the cars for last. And let's get into hats. Really, really cool Gophers painter's cap with a big M on top. A lot of people like to use these for pinbacks, and so they'll wear it, but then they'll put all their pins on the painter's cap. It's also one that would display real well like that, so you could have it on display and then put all your pins on there. And then some people like to rock them, so the people that wear painter's caps are kind of weird. They're kind of weird people, and I like them. So. All right, next up, Gophers went for 22. Next up is a heavy hitter. This is going to be a 80s Easy Rider hat. American Freedom. You got eagle on fire on the side. It's got this weird strap back enclosure, but it's kind of like a painter's cap. Actually, a local Minnesota company manufactured this. Does have the official licensed product stamp on the back. We got $127 for this. This is a ridiculously rare hat. It's a licensed hat. I had it up for $250 for maybe 3 years. I think I got some $75 offers, some $80 offers, and for me, it's like under $100. There was just no real reason to sell it. And somebody made a $120 offer, and I thought, you know, I've had it up long enough. The $120 strong in comparison to the other offers that have come in, and my client will be very happy with that sale. So $127 for the Easy Rider. Again, the Minnesota Twins won the championship, so you can start selling Twins gear. This is from the 02 championship run, and that sold for $17. That one's dead stock, so that's cool. 2008 World Series, and kind of like with Pennant, you actually don't see a lot of hats that have the logo of both teams on them, so I don't think it makes it ridiculously rare, but it's kind of unique. 08 went for $15, so there you go, it's not a $40 hat because there's two logos on it. With Pennants, that may actually be true. There may be a big increase in value. NAPA Racing camo hat, Velcro back. NAPA went for $13. I think I got that in a lot where I was buying some other stuff in the lot. Those are the best lots to buy, where you want 30% of the lot, and then you make money on the other 70%, and you didn't particularly want that other 70%. Even at the thrift, I probably wouldn't buy that hat. Just not really something I sell. I don't sell a lot of racing in general. All right, the Smoky Collection, Ramon Furman, 95 Bowman. That went for $8. Then we had two of the 10K Lake Collection, which is a in-person basketball collection that came in. So I got about 300 basketball cards signed. I never know how to say this guy's name. Okur, Mehmet Okur, and Matt Harpring. And those two went for $13. And then we had a nice 6-card sale from the Smoky Collection. All Mets, all solid players except for maybe one, but I don't know. So we got Brett Butler. That's a nice card. We got Jason Bay, definitely a very good player. Very good player. Jeremy Burnett, one of my favorite players, although most of us know him as a Brewer. He had one of the craziest swings. It's like all he did was swing as hard as he could at heavy pitch. Daryl Boston, a solid player. Nice signature, too. Bobby Bowe, who is still getting paid by the New York Mets, even to this day. His signature sucks. It's just a big B.O. Bowe. He did put a little, I don't know, little squibble, I don't know. And Wilmer Flores on his top 100 card. These 6 went for $33. That was a nice sale on the Smoky Collection. And now we got a nice batch of pennants, and then we got some cars, and I think I'm going to do a relatively quick video considering how many items we sold. I don't have any long-winded stories today. Cincinnati Stingers, very nice WHL team, a rare team as well. Cincinnati went for 63. We got this Padres from the 98 World Series. That's a real nice pennant with the Padres mascot on there. Can never remember his name. Maybe his name's father. I don't know. I think this was the series where they trotted Kevin Brown out like every game, and then I don't know. He was never the same after that. Padres went for 21. We have a nice Washington Mystics. This is probably one of the first ones made in the inaugural season, just based on the collection that we got in. They all seem to be from the inaugural season. 17 for the Mystics. Very nice early 80s, maybe late 70s Seattle Seahawks. I was a little disappointed in the Seahawks yesterday. I was in a close fantasy game, and I had Russell Wilson, who blew up for me last week. He was having a so-so game, but every time he completed a pass, it was to his tight end, who the guy I was playing had. So, so every time he completed a pass, I would lose ground. It was not fun. Seahawks went for 21. A little bit of creasing on there and a little faded, so not super mint, but will display very well. 1987 World Series, Minnesota Twins. Twins won the pennant, and when a team wins the pennant, you sell some pennants. So 87 and 91 are extremely common pennants. I usually only list them if they're in very good condition, which that one is. That one went for 17 as well. And then we got this 92 Duke. I've sold this one maybe 3 or 4 times already. It's a very popular Final Four one. Has all 4 teams in the Final Four on it. It's got the big Metrodome in the middle, which personally I like a lot. That went for 17. Not a high price pennant. No, I've sold it 4 times, so it's not particularly rare. And I really like this one. This is New York Mets with the facsimile signatures on their 25th anniversary of the Miracle Mets. Really vibrant, very colorful facsimile signatures. It's just a great pennant overall. But they were a few listed, so not a rare pennant. $17 again. And last up, we got our die-cast sales. We've been doing very good selling cars from the collection that came in. Not sure if I mentioned the background on the die-cast, but somebody contacted me. He had a collection that his father had built, and unfortunately his father had passed, and he was having difficulty selling it. I do think I mentioned it. And so we took over the sales for him, and I'm happy to say we're in the 3rd week, and we're making sales. We're getting money for him to give to his mom, so that's really cool. I can't elaborate a whole lot because I'm not a big die-cast guy, or I'm not a die-cast guy at all. I will say this though, I had a big batch of NASCAR die-casts that I sold a few years ago. I'm under the impression now that non-NASCAR diecast in 1/18 scale sells a lot better than NASCAR does. The NASCAR was a beast to sell, and there was this really, really nice, high-quality stuff, and it would sell for like not as much as you would think. But it seems like the non-NASCAR cars are much more popular. This is a 164 American Graffiti. I had 4 118 American Graffiti cars. Those sold immediately. This is just like a little probably workshop, gas station, mechanic garage. But you can put any 164 car in it, so that's kind of cool. Sold for 22 just a few minutes ago. So that was the last thing we added for the video. Then we had a couple of these 164 cars. This is both of them are Impalas, so different brands. But obviously we got an Impala fan. I believe that is rapper's favorite cars. Snoop Dogg's favorite car. Those went for I will admit in that what song was it? Not Forgot About Dre Day. They got that Impala in the beginning of the video. Holy smokes, that's a nice car. That would be a very nicely done Impala. $27 for those two. Next up, this is pretty cool. So this was the inaugural Fast and Furious Shelby Cobra, which if I remember the movie correctly, it's the main character drives this car. I could be wrong about that. I stopped at Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift maybe, and that was 20 years ago. So when this first came out, it wasn't a very expensive car, but over the years, Fast and Furious became a monster franchise, and this ended up being quite a nice car. 123 for the Shelby Cobra from the Fast and the Furious. Next up, we got a 1948 Ford Convertible, 1/18 scale, and the 48 Ford Convertible went for $33. All right. Then we got a 1970 AMC Rebel. Not a car I know, but kind of looks like a Challenger. That went for $33. And last up, we got yet again another Impala. So it's the 1963 Impala. Not surprising, considering how popular these cars are in real life. People want the model to go with their car. It wouldn't surprise me if some of these cars are being purchased because they own the actual car. This Impala went for $78. I don't have a lot of information as to why one went higher and one went lower. I was just looking at comps, making educated guesses. Fortunately, I've been doing this long enough where I've gotten pretty good at the art of pricing, and I can start extrapolating information, even if I don't have a lot of know-how of the subject matter that I'm dealing with. I can usually kind of figure out, okay, this seems like this is going to be a higher end product. And really, you're just looking for rarity. So I'm looking for, like some of the, I'm not going to say that's what happened with that Impala, but I did notice this for some of the cars was you look at that Impala and there's a bunch of listings and they're all selling for $30 or $40, but nobody has the color you have. Well, that's a good sign that maybe I should charge some more money for my car. Now, my big weakness now is I don't know how high to go. So I might be leaving a little bit of money on the table, which that was very clear with my client. I'm like, this is not my area. I'm going to make I guarantee I'll make mistakes. But so, on the high end, so let's say you got 63 Impala and they're all, what color is this? It's blue. Let's say they're all white and they're all black and they go up to $80. For all I know, it's a $500 car. I mean, you look in the solds and there's nothing. If there's nothing to go off of. I'll stay relatively in the ballpark because the goal is to sell the item, not to run a die-cast museum. So yeah, happy with that sale. The client will be happy. That's a very, very nice sale. That's what we have for weekend sales. I haven't heard back. I'm just about to send an email to my agent. I'm getting a little ants in the pants to find out what the reply is from the listing agent for the storefront that we put in a proposal for. Hopefully I will have news and do a video to talk about it. Thanks for watching, everybody, and have a great day.